Evening everyone, and welcome to this brand new tutorial series on Mondays, and it is the anatomy tutorial. This is part one, the course breakdown. Going to be a little bit different than the dragon tutorial where I never actually showed my face in that one. This one I'm probably going to be a bit more on screen whilst I discuss things that happen to go with anatomy and sculpting. So there might be times where I'm on screen, there might be times where I'm not on screen, but this is generally how it's going to go. It's going to kind of be a little bit like the Thursday live streams where we just chill out and I'm on screen all the time. But yes, we are starting a brand new tutorial series learning how to sculpt the human anatomy. This is, of course, the breakdown where I'm going to discuss how we're going to go forward starting next Monday. And as well as that, take some questions. If you have any questions you want to ask about the course or what you'd like to see. Obviously, I'll have a structure in mind when I'm doing this course, and it should have everything you need to know in there because I'm going to run I'm going to run it through with you in a minute. We are going to be using PureRef, so we got the pureref.com, so you can go download pureref.com. It's a place where we can store images of things like references on a sort of spreadsheet. And also we'll be using the ZBrush license 2022.0.7 for the sculpting. Before we go any further, I'm just going to show you the membership video and I'll be back in 1 minute. So you want to join my membership?
Gotcha. Sign up.
By joining, you won't only unlock members-only content, you'll also be supporting my channel and the growth of the community. Are you ready to do your part?
I'm doing my part.
For as little as a price of coffee a month.
God damn, Jimmy. This some serious gourmet shit.
You'll be able to access all past live streams and get exclusive members-only content.
Yeah, boy.
That's less than 49p a video.
Shut up and take my money.
So if you're ready, join now and become part of this 3D journey.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
All right, so you see, as you saw there, you can become a member and you get all the live stream archives. There's a full dragon tutorial on how to sculpt the dragon from Dragonheart now. Full archive live stream on how to sculpt that from beginning to end. If you want to become a member, you can jump on that tutorial as well as the next ones that come along. If you are a Patreon tier 3, you'll be working on a Velociraptor from Jurassic Park. How to sculpt it from beginning to end. There's also other videos that are for my Patreons on the Patreon site as well. And yeah, so they're going through how to sculpt the Velociraptor. It's exclusively towards my Patreons tier level 3. Cool. Before I go any further, please could someone let me know if you can hear me all right in the comments. That would be really great. And with that, I'm going to show you the breakdown. Now, this is a work in progress, so bear with me because it's quite a lot to take in and a lot to do and plan. So I'm just going to show you real quick. Cool, everyone can hear me. Cool. I'm going to show you real quick what I've got planned moving forwards. So we're going to just put some music on in the background as well. Right, let's get into it. All right, so for this tutorial that we're going to be using or working on, we're going to be using 2 books, predominantly 1 book, but I'll put both of these in because these are the 2 tutorial books that I think you will need, or the 2 books that you'll need for the tutorial and moving forward as an artist. These are the books to have. The first one, if I just bring it over here, is the Anatomy for Sculptors. So just bring this one up. The Anatomy for Sculptors. You can find the wish list, Amazon wish list. I created one in the description box below where you can find them if you want to buy these books if you don't have it already. We will be predominantly using this book to reference muscle forms and how the anatomy looks. And then the other book, which is Anatomy for 3D Sculptors, or 3D Artists, sorry, the essential guide for CG professionals, is a little less detailed on anatomy, but it does have 4 good tutorials in this book that you can work on. I highly recommend, once we finished with this and you have an idea of how anatomy is, that you'll jump onto this and try to create the models or tutorials from this book. Still a lot of good stuff in this book as well, but we will predominantly be using this one for the foreseeable future. And if we have time, I'll flip through this one and show you what it's like in this one. Now, as I mentioned, this one there is a wish list in the description box below on where to get this book. It is a little bit expensive, even as a paperback. It's a little bit expensive. So what I've done, just for you guys, and to show you and prove to you that I actually spend my money on creating more stuff or buying more stuff for whatever this live streams and stuff, I actually went out and I bought a scanner, and I'm going to use the scanner to scan the images or scan the pages of the Anatomy for Sculptors, and then put them up on the PureRef board so we can sculpt along to it and we can see it all using the PureRef board. So I actually went out and I bought a scanner just for this tutorial series. So yeah, if you haven't already, maybe consider becoming a member and you can fund more of this sort of stuff in the future. And I just pull my arm. Oh, great. Cool. So yeah, even though I'm going to be using the scanner to scan the stuff and show you guys, I still highly recommend that you buy this book. Even if it does cost you a little bit of money, go and buy it. It'll help you in the long run. Next thing, in the wish list as well. Now, this isn't totally necessary, but I also have this little mannequin here, male mannequin. That is on the Amazon wish list. You can buy this one as well. Then I have also the female version as well. And also the little miniature head version. These are quite essential for when you are starting off your sculpting pursuits, as they are physical things that you can see and move around in real life. And I find it's really helpful for pinpointing how the muscles look at different directions, because working from books, you're only going to get front, side, back, and front, side, left and right views. So it's a little bit difficult to kind of look around the model. I would recommend that you also grab one of those, maybe just the male version, if you have enough money. Grab the male version, because it can be very helpful when trying to look at male anatomy. And we are going to be starting off with the male anatomy moving forward, and then we'll move on to the female anatomy afterwards. It's a lot more difficult, the female anatomy. That's why we're going to do the male anatomy first. Okay, so let's jump back into this PureRef scene. So as I mentioned before, we're going to be using the Anatomy for Sculptors book more than the Anatomy for 3D Artists. And I'm just going to move this down a bit. I kind of want to break this up into manageable chunks. So we're going to start off with the basic structure. What I mean by this is breaking down the human anatomy into basic shapes inside a ZBrush, and then sort of showing you how to use ZBrush to create those basic shapes. And then from there, we'll take them further. So it's going to be the basic structure first. If you think about basic structure, I'll just bring up my Photoshop scene real quick. I've actually done a little drawing just before live stream, so I'm just going to move this out the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a skeleton. So we'll have this skeleton. Now I'm going to put this skeleton up on my ArtStation website, on my online store for free. So if you want, you can download this for free. I'll also put it up on the flip normals and the Gumroad and Cube Brush as well. Absolutely free, but if you want to contribute, you can donate towards it. And what I'm going to do is we're going to use this as a reference point to put the muscles onto our character, or build the muscles around the skeleton. The blockout stage is basically, we're going to go back to basics, and we're going to have primitive shapes. We're going to use primitive shapes to block in the basic shapes of a character or a human body. This is, like I mentioned before, this is bare basics. We're going straight back to bare basics on all of this because a lot of people have asked for this. And then once we have the bare basics, we can then start to break it up into manageable chunks. And I'll show you how to sculpt, as well as we'll look at references on how muscles actually look on in images and also in real life. And hopefully this will help you guys with a little bit of well, it's going to help you create better looking and anatomically correct characters. And it's very important when you first start off to have a knowledge in all this. So this is the sort of thing that I had to do at the very beginning. I think everybody has to do at the very beginning. You cannot just jump in straight away and start making creatures and aliens and stuff. You have, even if you do that, you still have to have a knowledge base of anatomy, even if it's human anatomy or animal anatomy. You still have to have that baseline sort of idea of how it all fits together, basically. Okay, so I'll bring this back over. Pure ref scene. Here we are. Just going to check my chat real quick. So only just got here, may have missed it. If you said it already, is this live stream only going to be available for members or for everyone after? So thank you, Cakester, for that. So this tutorial series is going to be available to everyone for a week. Each video is going to be available to everyone for a week, and then it will go to members only afterwards. So if you haven't watched it in a week, then you'll have to become a member to actually watch it again, or pick up from you know, what you might have missed. That's how I'm planning on doing these moving forward. It kind of gives the members something to always go back to in YouTube, and sort of have full series of tutorials, because that's one thing that I kind of didn't get when I was working in 2000, when I was working on ZBrush in 2011, 2012, 2013. I never sort of saw full-on tutorials from beginning to end, and so I'm trying to build a YouTube channel where we're going to do this, and it's going, if it doesn't matter how long it takes, we're going to go step by step, and you'll have a full archive on how to sculpt using ZBrush. The first one we did was the dragon tutorial, where we sort of basically sculpted a whole dragon, and it took us as long as it took us. I think it was about 6 months. And this one is probably going to take about the same time, roughly, maybe even longer, because there's a lot of detail that we need to cover when it comes to anatomy. But that is for Mondays, and then the Thursdays is a chilled session, like I say, where we're going to be more chilled, and we'll just do some fun creature designs and stuff like that. So after the basic structure, we're going to break up the body into manageable chunks. So the first one's going to be the torso. So we're going to look at the torso. If I just scroll up real quick. So we get the draw pen out. So we're going to cut the body into manageable chunks, as I mentioned before. So we'll do the, whoops, that's black. Let me just try and find a red. There we are. So, all right, so we're going to cut the arm off. We're going to cut the hand off. Now, the hand's quite a delicate thing, and it's got a lot of stuff going on in that, and that will take quite a while to actually get it looking right. So we want to break the arm and hand up. The head, again, very difficult to get right in just a few hours, so we're going to cut that off as well. We'll cut the leg, the feet, and the torso. So the first part of this is going to be the torso, and it's going to be the torso and the back, so the back and the front of it. And we'll probably split that up into maybe 2 live streams, depending on how quickly we can get through this. But I really want to work through this at a very slow pace so people get to understand how anatomy works. And then obviously after that, we're going to move on down the arm first, then the legs, the hands, the feet, and then finally the head, because the head's, like I mentioned, quite a difficult thing to get right, and that's going to take some time to talk about as well. All right, so I kind of already started working on the pure ref scene, and what I'm going to do is I'm trying to think about this. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I need to try and figure out a way to get the pure ref scene so people can download it each week. So I'm going to have to think about that. If anyone knows any good ways of doing that, then let me know. But actually, I could probably do it through my Discord channel. If you become a Discord member, you could probably pick it up from Discord. I'll have to figure out if there's a way to drop it in Discord, or use Discord to drop it in a Dropbox or something. But we can figure that out later date. So that's kind of how things are going to go for moving forward. I want to know from you guys if this is going to work for you, or if you really need me to look at anything particular or specific. That would really benefit you guys. But the idea of this is to break it all down to its bare basics and use very basic brushes. So we're not going to go for anything we call it customized or custom built within brush wise, because I think you should be able to sculpt human anatomy with just a few brushes. Now, I'm looking at Dam Standard, Clay Buildup, the Move brush, the Smooth brush. There might be another one in there, but really you only need about 5 brushes to do all of this. Even if even for like this, you can actually use just about 5 brushes for that sort of stuff. But yeah, let me know in the comments section, have I missed out anything? Again, if you can, there's a wish list in the description box below where you can grab these 2 books on Amazon. You probably want to grab the left one more. You probably want to grab this one actually. And then if you have money, grab that one, because the anatomy for Sculptors is the one we're going to be using the most for this series moving forward. Cool. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. There is probably going to be a little bit of sort of blacking out of or censoring of nudity, because I'm not sure how YouTube works with that sort of thing when it comes to educational videos. So I'm going to have to sort of black them out and censor them out. So yeah, again, probably better to buy the book so you can actually see it for yourself, see all the nitty gritty and stuff like that. But so yeah, so I mean, you could just see here moving into how this is all going to be structured. We're going to do kind of the same thing as the Anatomy for Sculptors book, which is this one here, does inside of here. I know that a lot of you probably seen this a million times, but this is more for people who want to sort of, what do you call it, improve on their sculpting abilities, and you can follow along with this sort of course. But the general idea is there. We're gonna sort of do the same thing as we could see here. We're going to break down the muscles. We're going to look at the muscles and how they intertwine and relate to each other on the anatomy. And this is actually great because I'm going to actually learn as well with you guys, because I am a professional artist, but it's always good to refresh your mind when it comes to anatomy, because I don't think a lot of people do that enough. And then they start to make up things where they shouldn't make up things, and they start to forget about how anatomy actually works. So this is going to be great for not just for you, but for me as well. And I really can't wait to start doing this. I don't want to do it tonight. I don't want to start it tonight because I need to get some more things sorted before we do that, and also get the skeleton up online so you guys can grab that skeleton and we can start sculpting it together. Oh, Crisis Bomberman says, I just found this and I'm really happy to see. I saved this. I'll be back for later. Thanks, Steve. Great, looking great. Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, so like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. This is kind of just a quick breakdown on how we're going to do this moving forward. And I'll just move this to one side now. And just close this as well. So this is the skeleton that I'm going to put up for free on my ArtStation, Gumroad, Flip Normals website. And it's got pretty much all of the bones that you need in it. Now, I think it's the male version of the skeleton. There are differences between the male version and the female version of the skeleton. So we're going to be starting off with the male version. And then I believe in the light box, there is an actual female version here. So if we just open this up, so this comes with ZBrush. So we just open this one up real quick. Just hide this. And we just want to look at the skeleton, which is the top one. So you can see there's the female version of a skeleton. So we're going to use this one when we start to do the female version of the anatomy. And obviously, if you want, you can actually see how the muscles look on a female version as well. There's a model in here already that's got that. And it's a good reference. It's a good reference, but, you know, doing it yourself is actually going to be more beneficial than just using something that's already been made. And when you start to actually sculpt things yourself, you'll actually realize how different male and female anatomy, like muscular anatomy, is to each other. And I find that that is very useful to do it yourself. So yes, this is gonna be great. Got one here from Rennick saying, when will the next streams be? So I stream on Mondays and Thursdays, every Monday and Thursday. Thursday one is the Venom Tom Hardy live stream, chilled live stream. I'm still trying to find a name for that one really, but we do that on a Thursday where I just take questions about anything and everything. We talk about films or games and show video, trailers on video games and films. And Mondays are the tutorial sessions. So this tutorial we're starting tonight, where it's more formal than it is casual. But I want to kind of break that for this tutorial stream on Mondays with the anatomy. I want to be a little bit more casual than I was with the dragon design that we did, and actually, you know, not take it too seriously, but at the same time, work on something that's going to be beneficial for you guys. Rennick say, I've completed quite a few anatomy courses, so I'll be happy to join your streams. I'm sure I'll learn something new. Thank you very much. Yeah, now I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm not 100% sure about all the names of the muscles, so if I get it wrong, please forgive me. I am not someone who's studied all the bones and all the muscle groups, and I think people who do that, it's better, you know, good on them, but you don't really need to know the ins and outs of muscles that much. Well, you do, but you don't have to know every single name of the muscles. There are landmark muscles, which I find is more important to know than the ones that are really small, right? So if we just take this little image here real quick, and I just undo all this. So what I mean by landmark muscles, I mean the biceps, deltoids, the pectorals, the traps or trapezius. We also have the abdominals as well. And then, like, if we look at the forearm, Oh, we got a new member. Tefik Sahin, I hope that's right, is a brand new member. So thank you very much. Welcome aboard. I hope you enjoy the past live streams, because there's quite a few things in there that you're probably going to enjoy watching. But yeah, thank you very much for becoming a member. Dave Newhouse says, I'm an environment artist out of water, but looking forward to do this. Yeah, don't worry. Everybody's there. Everybody goes through that sort of process when they want to become a character artist. They kind of a little bit sort of daunting, I'd say, but it is going to be beneficial for you guys. So as I was mentioned before, so we're looking at landmark muscles, right? Which are more important than the smaller muscles. So what I mean by smaller, I mean anything like this one here, that's really small. Depending on the sort of creature or character you're creating, if it's a Marvel style Hulk character, then you probably want to exaggerate those muscles more. But if it's a normal human, like with a relaxed muscle sort of tone, then you don't really need to sculpt that in there. As long as you know that that's there, is more important. I'd say that the one behind it here is more important, and I can never really say this one. It's a gastrocnemius. I'm just gonna say calf muscle. It's easier. Oh, got one from Tomorrow saying I've did anatomy course during my time as a gym instructor. This will be great for my art. I thought. I can't remember a single thing. Oh, yeah. Well, me too. This is gonna be interesting, because I think people are gonna laugh because I cannot pronounce the names of these things, and I'm gonna learn something new as well doing this as well. So this is gonna be great. Yeah. So like I was mentioning, the smaller muscles that are sort of on your human or on you, we won't really be looking at too carefully, as long as we know that they're there. There is a muscle, I think I've mentioned this 100 times before. There's a certain muscle in the leg that kind of sits like this in the leg, but it's on the inside of all of the muscles. So it sits inside of here, on the inside of the muscle there. That is one muscle you're never going to see, but it is actually described in the book in here, and it's an important muscle, but it's not something you're going to need. As I mentioned before, the best thing to do is to look for landmark muscles rather than try to do every single muscle, unless you're trying to learn anatomy for scientific reasons or for sculpting scientifically. Then you shouldn't really need to know every single muscle. Or if you're making a character without any skin, then of course you will need to add those muscles in. But for this purpose, we're going to be focusing more on the larger muscle groups, and then just sort of brushing over the smaller ones. Yeah, it's going to be fun. If there's any other questions, I'd really like to know, because I thought I'd have more to talk about, but I'm not quite sure if there's anything more I can say without actually going in and doing a course right now. But yes, like I mentioned before, these books are godsend. And also, if you can, grab one of these statues from Amazon. They are on the wish list in the description box below. You can grab one of them. I'd say grab the male version, because we're going to be using the male version to begin with. If you have the money for it, it's not essential, but it's nice to have, so you can sort of see it in real life, and you can rotate it around and actually see the muscles in all directions. Oops, sorry. Dave Newhouse says, will we be sculpting each muscle? I mean, we could sculpt each muscle if you really want me to. We can do that. It's going to take a long time though. I was planning on doing the blockout and then sort of sculpting that blockout into the forms of the muscle. But if you really want me to, I will go through each muscle if you really want me to, but it's going to take a lot longer. It's totally up to you guys. Again, this is really for you guys to learn. So just let me know. Warwick says, what interests me the most is how to simplify anatomy in order to create appealing sculptures. That's something I still struggle with from time to time. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to simplifying, nothing better than primitive shapes. Quite often, when I'm sculpting, and you see that in my time-lapse videos, if I just move that out of the way quick, quite often you'll see me using, oh, where is it? This guy, which comes with ZBrush, and it's just a basic male model, and it comes with geometry subdivisions. I normally just delete those, but I will start off with something like this because as a concept, and as someone who's done this for a while, I don't need to start from scratch every time I sculpt something. I just need to be able to get in there and actually start sculpting using something that might be already available to me. So I tend to use this a lot for the start, and then I'll deform it and make it break it down into the more basic shapes afterwards using Dynamesh. But what I think is probably going to be more beneficial to you guys is if we actually do it properly, and we take it from a skeleton and go forward from there, blocking the basic shapes and then sculpt those into muscular forms, and then cut them up using Dynamesh. It's all a process, right? So we use primitive shapes. It's kind of like, how am I going to say this? It's kind of like how I always say. When we did the dragon tutorial, we started off with primitive shapes, then we Dynameshed them and we broke them up into sort of manageable chunks, and then we sculpted each individual piece, and then we detailed that, and we kept detailing it until we got to exactly how we liked it. There's no difference with this. It's just that it's actual human anatomy, and the one thing about human anatomy is people can see the faults. People can see the faults in it from a mile away because we see human anatomy all the time, and if it doesn't look right, whoops, there we are. Turn that screensaver off. If it doesn't look right, then people are going to notice. So what we'll do is we're going to break it down exactly the same way as we did with the dragon, and we'll sort of work on how to do that. I was even thinking of maybe between each piece. So as we look at the torso to begin with, right, we will sculpt the shapes of the torso and get it anatomically looking correct, and then once we have that anatomically correct, we will then do 30-minute sculpts without it there. So from memory, 30-minute sculpts on the torso, and then we'll compare that with an anatomically correct torso to see how well we are actually doing with memory, and then from there we can sort of gauge how well we're doing basically with our sculpting. But it's one of those things that's once it's drilled into your mind, you will remember it forever. Even if it becomes like riding a bicycle, really. But yes, we will be working on this for the foreseeable future until everybody is either A, satisfied, or B, tired. Dave Newhouse says forms are fine, dude. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, I mean, this is it's going to take a lot of work. If you haven't been here from the beginning, as I mentioned before, in the wish list you will get you'll find the sculpting anatomy for sculptors. If you can't afford it, I know it's quite pricey. It's a must-have book for artists, but if it's a bit too pricey, I have actually pull this up. I have actually gone out. I think I showed this at the beginning. I'll just show you again. I have gone out and I've bought an actual scanner, and I'm going to scan the pages of the book and put them into the Pure Rev scene. Not all the book, just the certain parts where we can see what we need to sculpt. So I have used membership money to update technology so that I can bring you these tutorials. So your money is going to go to good causes. Yeah. So if there's any more questions, please let me know. I am going to be working a lot this weekend on getting the project set up. So if you have any questions, or if you want me to show any particular things, or you think that I've missed anything, please put them in the comment section. I'll read them out, and I'll write them down as well. Is there any particular hard or difficult areas that you might want me to sort of go over in more detail? And that'll be easy enough to do as we move forward. But let's bring this back. So as I have you here, I thought we could just quickly do a little work. Okay, so the first one's going to be basic structures, as it says there on the side there. And what that is pretty standard. So we're going to break down the human anatomy into basic shapes. So basic, primitive. Oh, we're going to have bad spelling now. Basic primitive shapes. Then from that, we will dynamesh. Well, actually, no. We will split them. And I want to talk you through how and why we're using specific shapes, basic shapes, to represent certain areas on the anatomy, because it's kind of important to know these things, even if you don't have to remember it ever again. It's still important to know these shapes and why we use these shapes in for anatomy sculpting. So after we've done all that and we spoke about the primitive shapes, we'll split model to bite-size sections, and that will be the basic structure kind of live streams. I'm thinking that's going to be about two live streams. Let's say 2 live streams tops, because it's very quick, it's very easy. So we shouldn't have too much of a worry with that. Let's add a new note. This is going to be the torso. So for this, we will take the basic primitives. Whoops. So this, we're going to take the basic primitives and mesh them together. Once this dynameshed, we will then use just trying to think. We're going to dynamesh it relatively high, because actually that should come second. What we need to do with the basic shapes is mold them into silhouette, and then dynamesh them together so that we have a more accurate representation of the body or the torso in silhouette form first, then we dynamesh it together. And then from that, we will use the dam standard. Capital dam standard brush to pencil in major muscle. I can't spell. Muscle groups. So kind of like we did with the dragon tutorial, we will use the dam standard to block in the major muscle groups, so the big area, the big, what do you call it, the standout pieces, muscles. And what we'll also have on hand, and we'll refer back to, is actual images from this book, and we will discuss how that all sort of fits together. Each muscle fits together. We might not sculpt every individual muscle because that could take a while, but we will refer back to images so that we can see exactly how the muscle sort of transitions from point to point on the body, and how it looks and how it tucks itself in or bulges out, stuff like that. Once that is done, we will then use the clay buildup brush to what do you call it, start building muscle forms. And then I'll show you a way on how, well, you probably already know the way on the way to build up forms using the clay buildup brush, but I'll show you how the techniques that I use and how I've been taught and watched tutorials on how to use the clay buildup brush to not only build up the forms but also give that sort of texture, a really nice texture to your character whilst you're sculpting, so it's not all flat. By the way, we will probably not use the smooth brush a lot in this in this tutorial. As I always say, we don't need to use a smooth brush at all if you can help it. Only when you're really in dire needs, or if the topology is stretching, you can smooth it out a little bit. But typically you don't need to use a smooth brush. So what we'll try and do, what I'll try and teach you to do, is use the clay buildup brush to smooth out and smooth out your sculpt. And it's a little bit difficult, because I know you probably want to smooth things out really nice and clean, but that's the beauty of especially muscle formations and skin that's on muscle, is that it's never smooth. It's always a little bit bumpy. So using the clay buildup brush to smooth out rather than the smooth brush is going to be much more beneficial to you guys. And I'll show you how to use the clay buildup brush properly when we get around to it. So then we use the clay buildup brush to start building the muscle forms, and then we can use the dam standard to maybe highlight, that's the word, highlight cavity. Call it cavity, but it's more like the depth of the muscle. So it's a cavity, like the of each muscle group. If you see here on this image here, what I mean by that is this is a cavity. Well, I would say that this is a cavity in here, and that's a cavity here, and as it tucks into here, then this one comes over, and there's a bit of a cavity in there you can cut into. That's what I mean by cavity when it comes to the dam standard for the highlighting the muscles. So we do that, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that will actually do for the torso, and that is also front and back. It's not just the back or the front, sorry. And I'm thinking we'll probably get this done in, I want to say, one live stream, but that's 2 hours, and with explanation it might be too little time, so let's push it for another 2 live streams just in case, like that. And essentially what you could do is just copy and paste this torso for the arm, leg, hands, feet, and head, because they're all the same, apart from maybe the head, because the head is a little bit more complicated, because it's one of those things as humans, when we look at things and we look at people's faces, we can kind of tell whether or not it's good or not, because of how we, at a very young age, can decipher what a human's face really looks like. And if you get that uncanny valley situation sometimes when you're sculpting and you create a character's face and it just looks a little bit off because it's not perfectly, but it's not exactly how a human's face should look. So for that one, it's going to take a little bit of time, but there's a cool thing that we can do for that. We can actually look at the human face and the skull and all the muscle groups and the landmark bone structures and stuff like that. And then what we'll do is, again, maybe 30-minute sculpt sessions on getting the shapes of the face, not perfect shapes, but shapes of the face. Kind of like how you would do if you were going to go to a live drawing session, right? So in fact, I would actually recommend people do that as well. If you can't go to a live drawing session, then grab an image from online and use your Wacom tablet, use a pen, use a pencil, paper, and do 30-minute drawings or 10-minute drawings of a face. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's exactly how we're going to be doing it for the sculpt. We're not going to look for perfection. We're just going to sculpt something that represents a face and also try to get all those main shapes in. So the nose, the cheekbones, the eyes, the ears, the chin, the jawline, the lips, just getting those main sections in so that we can sort of gauge how well we can sort of sculpt at pace, right? And then from there we can look at it a little more closely. But I'd like to get those 30-minute sculpt sessions in because they are they're important for development and also portfolio. If you want, after this you can put all those little pieces that we're going to be doing for this tutorial session series into your portfolio. So the torso two live streams is for an anatomically correct torso, and then what we'll do is we'll have a little bit more fun. So what we'll do is we'll have another one for the torso, and this will be one live stream. And in this one, just come to the end. This will be 3 30-minute sculpt speed sculpts. That's right, speed sculpts. So this is going to be something that's going to be a little bit reoccurring. Maybe not for the hands. The hands are quite difficult because there's so many digits on the hands, and then the feet as well. Those ones we probably will spend 2 live streams getting correct. We won't really worry too much about the 30-minute speed sculpts unless we look at sort of fist sculpting, because you can do fist sculpting, hands open, hands pointing. There's so many different ways you can sculpt hands, but for the torso, the legs, the arms, and the head, we will do 30-minute live streams, 30-minute speed sculpt. So let's do torso. We're going to do the arms and legs, and I'm just going to put at the end here each. And this one as well. Arms, legs, each. Right. So that should be fine. The head. Let's just grab these. Okay. Note. So the head will be, I think it could be one live stream. One live stream for the taking it from basic to complete. So I'm just going to put in here basic shapes. Although there is a lot of shapes, basic shapes first, and live stream. Let's put this at 2 actually, because what we'll do is we'll create all the basic shapes, and then we'll discuss the basic shapes, because there's a lot to discuss with the basic shapes. Because when you get to these parts of the body, everything gets more and more, everything gets smaller, right? So when you look at your hand, you got a bunch of, I can't remember how many bones. I think it's, I can't remember. There's a load of bones in there, and there's lots of creases and wrinkles and deforming that goes on with your hand. Same with your face, and partly your feet a little bit. Feet aren't as bad, except for maybe the toes. But there's a lot to explain with those, so we'll keep them to 2 live streams. So basic shapes first, then we'll do a Dynamesh and silhouette. Now for this one, we might need to actually find someone's face online, some sort of neutral type face that we can. We're not going to copy it exactly, because that would take forever. A like for likeness face will just take forever, but we could do a generic default human face that we might be able to find online, like a mannequin type thing. So we could do that. So Dynamesh and silhouette that, and then clay build-up brush, or clay build-up and discussion, I guess. As we sculpt, we'll discuss how and why these shapes look like this, and that will be 2 live streams of that. And then obviously we're just gonna make a note and call this head 30 min speed sculpts 3. Yeah, 3. And we'll be doing the 30-minute speed sculpts without reference, because I think that's the best way to learn, is to do it without reference. And then obviously take it back and have a look at the reference. So without reference. There we are. And obviously the hands and feet will be the same as the head. So let's put that in here as well. Head, hands, feet, 2 live streams each. There we are. And then this one as well. Well, actually, no, the head, we'll do the head. We won't do the hands and feet because they're so, it's so asymmetrical when it comes to hands and feet. What we're trying to learn here is just how to sculpt the hands and feet. We're not learning poses and stuff like that. That's something that will be something completely different to learn, is how to pose the fingers and stuff. What we're more interested in is how to sculpt a hand even if it's just a boring old hand that looks like this, you know, palm open type thing. Just learning how to visually see it and how to sculpt it, basically. I think that's good. So we got what we got here. We got 2, 6, 6. I'll have to get a calculator out because I cannot count. 2 plus 6 plus 3 plus 6 plus 1. So looking at about 18. About 18 live streams if things go well. We might have to spread about a little bit more, maybe add a few more live streams to finish off some things, but we're looking at about 18 live streams. That's 18 tutorials on how to sculpt anatomy for just the male version. The female version, hopefully by the time we hit the female version, we'll have a little bit more insight on the muscle side, so we don't have to worry too much about learning the muscles. We can just kind of get into the differences between the female and the male anatomy, and that then should be about it really for the anatomy side of things. Let me just check the chat real quick. Hello Joseph, evening. We've got one here from ML Creative. Says, well, which one of us ML Creatives were first? I started this channel about 4 years ago, so I don't know how long you've been working on YouTube, but it's good to have you here. Communist Legend says, why not start with a base mesh? Because a base mesh at this point where we're trying to learn anatomy from very beginning would be, I won't say cheating, but it would be unuseful for a beginner. Even if the tools are there for you to actually use a base mesh, it's still, you still need to know the fundamentals, because you still need to be able to sculpt properly and have the knowledge of anatomy. I think it's one of those things that a lot of people take for granted. I take it for granted. I use base meshes all the time. I know, hypocritical, but that's because I'm trying to do something really quickly. And if it's human anatomy version, if it's got a sort of human anatomy, the character I'm creating, of course I'm going to use a base mesh because it's already there. It's already got everything I need. But for beginners, especially for beginners, it's great to learn the bare basics first. Because even if you never use it again, which you probably will still use it, because a lot of these creature designs that you see, they're not always anatomically human correct. So you'll have to use primitive shapes to block them out, especially if you want to do something really wacky design sort of way, something with the long arms and stuff like that. Then you'd have to make those out of primitive shapes. So if you don't know how to make those out of primitive shapes really quickly, then it's going to be a little bit difficult to sort of moving forward. But yeah, that's why we're going to be using the basic shapes first, or basic primitive shapes. Helios says, learning anatomy allows you to break it properly and realistically. Exactly. Yes, thank you. ML Creatives back says, laugh my ass off. Nice to see the face with the name. My name is Bradley with the Style League. If you have not heard of us, we both started around the same time then. Nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you too. I started mine during the lockdown because I was bored. So it's come quite a long way now. But I want to thank you for joining this live stream, and hope your YouTube channel is doing well as well. It's doing good as well. Getting tongue-tied, yeah. Okay, cool. So I mean, looking at this, we're looking at around, let's say 20. I always put especially at work, 20 live streams roughly. So when I'm at work and they ask me, like, how long do you reckon it's going to be? I always tend to add at least another day or 2 days, just in case something happens within those 2 days, or if we have to sort of go a little bit longer than normal. Then at least I give myself a bit of padding, right? So I think 20 live streams roughly. We're going to aim for 18, but 20 just in case, because the 20th one could just be the final piece. Oh, by the way, once we've finished with all the separate pieces, we'll merge it. We'll merge it all together and sort of have all the pieces come together into one, and then you'll have your male anatomy all in one piece. And I'll just show you how to clean up the model with Dynamesh and those seam areas where the Dynamesh has been. So yeah, we'll have to have that as another live stream. So let's just, whoops, move this up a bit, and we'll just write that in. Nope. Final model. And in here, let's say, bring all separate. Oh god, separate parts together and merge and clean up. Yeah, cool. And then what you can do from there is use it in your portfolio. So you'll have it in your portfolio. If I just move this out to one side, I'll show you what I mean. Oops, 1 second, guys. Just find it. Whoop. So you can then go into your have an anatomy type area in your ArtStation, like this one, and basically you can have your human anatomy there, like this one. Well, that's the kind of thing we're aiming for. You see, this sort of pose and sort of look. And what we're going to be doing is sort of breaking it down. It's not going to be posed like this, but it will be breaking it down into something like this, where we have the torso anatomy, but in a T pose, and the arms, will sculpt those separately as well, and so on and so forth. Here we are. Just bring this forward. There we are. Yeah, because what the cool thing is, once we have the male anatomy, I mean, even though female anatomy is a lot smoother and a lot more softer, I want to say smoother, but softer in the features of the muscles and stuff. Well, for your default female, basically. What we can do is we can take the male version and we can just manipulate it into a female form, so that it represents more of a female structure rather than a male structure, but it still has all the muscles in the right place. That's something I can show you how to do as well. In case you ever need a female character but you haven't got one, you can just use a male character and change the parameters so that it looks more feminine. All right. So if you haven't already, again, go to the wish list in the description box below. If you can, grab this this book, because we're going to be using this a lot. It's one of the best books. Whoops. Just make sure there's no nudity. Nope, there's nudity. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, here we are. It is one of the best books to learn how muscles look on a character or a human, and how they work with each other, and how they attach to bones and stuff like that. So it's bare essential that you need. If you can, go to the description box below. There's a link to it. I will have that link in there throughout this course, that wish list. So you'll find in that wish list, you'll find those 2 books I have, as well as these little statue characters I have here. I would highly recommend you buy the male version of the statue, like this. It's got one half of it is skin and the other half is muscle. And so you can kind of see how the muscle looks and how the skin looks on the other side. Don't know if you can see that properly or not, but I highly recommend you grab one of these as well. And I think they're a little cheaper than the 3D artist ones. I could be mistaken. The 3D artist ones are even better because they have those ones that are like more like planes on a body, which is also something to learn if you want. But I highly recommend buying that one. The face one, which is this one, the little guy, is pretty good if you want to know how muscles look on a head. You know, you can definitely use that one as well. It's just really nice to have in your hand when you're sculpting, because you can kind of look around and actually change the light source of where you are sitting, so you can sort of see the shadows and stuff on it. It's really good to have for a point of reference. Again, don't worry if you can't afford any of that, because I'm gonna use them, but I'm not going to be using them too much. I'm going to be using the books more. If you can't grab the book, then I will also be scanning the pages that we're going to be using for reference. It probably won't be all the pages, because like I mentioned, there's a lot of nudity in this, but there will be ones that are essential to what we're going to be using them for. So I will scan those and put them in this pure ref scene, and I think I'm gonna put a download link in my Discord for the pure ref, so you can download it. The skeleton, which is this little guy here, I will be putting that up on ArtStation for free to download. So if you want, you can go there, you can download the skeleton for free on my ArtStation, Gumroad, Flip Normals, QBrush. Don't go just yet because it's not on there just yet, but it will be, and I'll let you guys know when it is. And you can just download for free. If you feel like you want to donate, you know, to the cause, then feel free to, but it's not essential. But it really does help with these live streams. As I mentioned before, I did just go out and buy a brand new scanner to scan these books, and I will be setting that up. So that is for you guys, not for me. I want to thank you all for supporting me, by the way, and supporting this channel, especially my YouTube members and my Patreon members. You really do actually, you know, make all of this possible, because I don't think I would be able to afford the programs or the technology without your guys' help. And in fact, everything that I have in my studio is from the money that comes from Patreon membership, as well as the stuff people buy from my online stores. I don't actually make a profit. I don't really make a profit on any of this. It all gets fed back into these tutorials and the YouTube channel and stuff like that. So I want to thank you all for that. I'm going to leave it there unless anyone else has anything they want to ask before I go. I'm going to be doing a lot of work this weekend to get things prepared properly for the next video. And the next video is going to be on Monday. The live stream for this series will be the basic structure, and we're going to be using this little guy, this little skeleton guy, and we're going to create the basic structure, and I'll walk you through why we sculpt the basic structure and how to position it properly on the skeleton so that you have anatomically correct shapes. Cool. Got one here from Toro saying, thank you, Marcus. This is going to be a great series. I hope so. I hope I don't fumble the ball. Yeah, if you haven't already, join in on Thursdays, because that is when we are going to be sculpting. We're actually nearly finished with the sculpting side of things with the Venom that we're creating, and we're going to be moving into Keyshot. I think Keyshot. We're going to move into Keyshot. I'm going to show you how to render using Keyshot. It's a little bit of a difficult program to get because it's quite expensive, but it works so well. If that's not what you guys want, then I'm happy to do it through ZBrush only rendering. Just with Keyshot, you get a little bit more of that, you know, realistic look to it. I think if it's going to be a poster design or something like that, be nice to have a little bit more realistic. But that's on Thursday, so we're gonna finish off Venom. We're gonna texture him inside ZBrush. We're gonna render it either in Keyshot or ZBrush, and then on the next Thursday we'll Photoshop him, and we can sort of have a, you know, like we did with that guy out the back there. You can see that one there, that orc. We'll do that basically, but with Tom Hardy's face, and I'll show you how to do it so it looks more like a film concept, or as close to a film concept as possible, because even I'm still learning how to do that. Yeah, so we got some questions here quick. So we got one here from Joseph Bonkowski saying, is Draco ended, so no posing or any further stages on him? Not for now. I wanted to take a break from him. I am actually trying to put some stuff together for ArtStation, my ArtStation portfolio for Dragon, as well as I'm trying to prep him to sell online or on my ArtStation as well. But we will return to him, and I think after we've done this tutorial, we will return to Dragonheart, and we will retopo and maybe even take it into Substance Painter and show you how to texture him, because, you know, I think we could take that into like a game ready version. I think that would be quite cool. I could show you the techniques that I would use to texture him for a game ready asset inside of Substance Painter. But we still have a lot of work to do before that, like actually retopo him, which is going to be done inside of Maya. And I know a lot of people like Maya. I know a lot of people are going to say, why don't you do it in Blender? I do it in Maya because Maya is king. No, it's not. Maya is industry standard, and so it is king. Anyway, Comics Legend says, will you be packaging your dragon tutorial for Flip Normals or other sites? I think I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to leave it for my YouTube members because they pay money for it, and it's kind of, you know, they should get the benefit of having that. I will maybe next year I'll package it, but for this year I'm going to leave it up on my YouTube channel. Same with these tutorials on how to sculpt anatomy. I'm going to leave it up on my YouTube channel for about a year, I guess, and then I'll look into packaging it up. But there's so much waffle from me on these live streams, it'll be quite difficult to package these into a sensible type of video, so we'll see. Got one here from Eratos. Hype on. Thank you. And we've got one from Tomorrow again saying, yeah, a Keyshot tutorial would be great. Then we can decide whether to purchase if we haven't got it yet. Well, I have, if you're a member on my YouTube channel, you will find a, oh God, give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to think when I'm trying to talk. There is a live stream on Thursdays that's in my membership only, where we did go through how to use Keyshot for a character. So if you become a member, you can probably find that before Venom. If you want, you can find it before Venom on Thursday. But if not, then you can wait until Thursday, and I'll be happy to show you how things are done inside of Keyshot. Joseph says, sounds great, and I'm also happy for this anatomy tutorial. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Celestial says, are you going to make 3D printable version of Dragon? I was actually, because I'm kind of rendering a turntable inside of Maya at the moment for it. It's taking forever because my computer is slow as hell. But I was looking at it and I thought to myself, that actually wouldn't look too bad as a 3D printable dragon. Now, I haven't really got the time to pose and 3D print him. So if anybody knows of anybody that would like to pose and 3D print him, or I can pose him and I could send the file to someone to 3D print, then that would be great. But I don't have space or time to actually 3D print the dragon. But I am happy to pose him for someone who could then maybe 3D print him. If anyone knows, anybody want, that would be great. Comics Legend says, I have Keyshot 9 when they had the ZBrush to Keyshot bridge. Unfortunately, they don't have it for the new version of ZBrush that I'm aware of. Yeah, don't worry. I also have Keyshot 9, so we're in the same boat. You got the good one. You don't need to go to ZBrush 2025. I only do ZBrush 2021 or 2022 because I know that a lot of people don't have money for the subscription for Maxim's ZBrush license. So perpetual license for 2022 is fine. A lot of studios still use 2022. I know that a lot of them are moving on to 2025, but the majority of them will probably still have the perpetual 2022 license. So you're all good. You should be fine. And Comic Zone says, would you ever consider making action figure joints on the dragon? Ooh, I'm not a toy expert. I'm not sure if I can actually do that. You'd have to pass it on to someone who knows how to make those things, those sort of joints. It's very specific, I think. But I think like a statue would be quite nice of the dragon anyway, you know. I'm trying to think of poses for him as well, like, because it's such an iconic character. I would like to get the pose right. So if anyone has any poses that they like the look of, chuck them in the Discord channel with, you know, ideas, and I'll have a look at it. But yeah, I definitely want to make a good pose for him because we spent so much time on it. Spent 6 months sculpting that thing. It'd be great if we could actually get a nice printable version of him, maybe. But yeah. Celestial says, I wish I had 3D printer. Well, I mean, yeah, I've got 3 and I'm not even using the damn things because I just don't have space to do them, to use them. So yeah, maybe I can send you one. Maybe. Don't hold any promises, but maybe. Conversation says, would you have a stream where you create a base for the statue? Oh, you mean this statue, the human statue, or the dragon statue? I could. I'm not great with environment stuff, but I could look into it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys, because I'm getting into questions and answers now, and the time's ticking. Oh, the dragon. Yeah. I could make a statue, a base for the statue of that. Maybe some sort of destroyed tower, like a watchtower. He's sort of perched on, looking into the distance, sort of thing. There's loads. If you can find good images of dragon poses, then stick him in the Discord channel. Become a member of Discord and stick him in the Discord channel. I'll have a look into it. But yeah, I want to say thank you very much, guys. I'm just going to quickly show the memberships now. These aren't all of them. Whoops. Let me just hide you. These aren't all of them. There are a few new members, and I just want to say thank you very much to you new members who have joined. I will update this for Thursday, and we'll go through it on Thursday with all the names. And also, again, these aren't all the members, but I thank you very much, my Patreon members, for supporting me, and my YouTube members for supporting me. I hope this is going to be a good. Tutorial for you guys. I'm looking forward to it. Let me just hide that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I actually want to get into the meat and potatoes of anatomy again, and really look at maybe where I could improve in sculpting. So I'm hoping this is going to be, you know, if not sort of fun, then at least you'll learn something from this. Yes, the Discord. Oh yeah, the Comics Legend. The Discord link is always broken. I'm always constantly fixing it. I don't know why it doesn't want to stay on one link for me, but I'm sure you can find it through just going on to Discord with MLW Creative. Should be able to find it. If not, remind me on Thursday, and I will put a link on Thursday. Right. I think that's it. I'm going to turn that music off. I want to thank you all for staying in tonight. I'm going to go away, and I'm going to start preparing the first tutorial, which will be the basic structure of anatomy for sculptors. And I hope you have a great week. I'll see you all on Thursday, and take care. See ya. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in more exclusive content and want to support my work further, then please check out my Patreon page at MLW_creative for more. Also, view past live streams you might have missed in Tier 3 tutorial support, where I will be archiving future streams moving forward. If you are interested in other full-length tutorials, brushes and models, then check out my online stores for more useful content. I would also like to thank all my subscribers and patrons for supporting me for this long. Again, thanks for watching and stay safe.